Tonight on a little dog talk here on UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Chris Hall, your host. Good to have you with us tonight as we talk a little bit about University of Georgia football and more. We've got all kind of things we want to talk about tonight. My producer and I was talking about the what's happening in Major League Baseball with the strike. What do you call the thing? Is it a lockout or a lockdown or a step out or whatever? And Major League Baseball, they just they don't get it. I mean, you have a discussion going on between the owners and the players, and they're talking about, well, we want 250 something million dollars for this, and you only want to give us like 240 million. Now, for people who are trying to get by the best we can with what's going on these days, when you start talking about millions and hundreds of thousands and this, that, and the other, after a while you're going to lose some folks. And so I think Major League Baseball better get their act together. And two, Braves fans want to. I'm a big Braves fan. Go Braves. What? Get our camera better. Okay. I'm a big Braves fan, and so how you doing, Mark? And so I want to celebrate our World Series victory. How you doing, my man Trip? Good to see you. Good to have you with us tonight. So, anyway, that has nothing to do with UGA football and what we're going to be talking about tonight. But I know a lot of football fans are big baseball fans. So let's get our act together now. College basketball is about to go into March Madness, and I love college basketball, so I'll be watching a lot of that and enjoying a lot of that. And, you know, but I'm ready for some spring training baseball personally, ready to get back at it. What's the guy's name? Rod Manford? Is that the Major League Baseball commissioner? He and the guys need to get it together. Whatever's happening, you guys are killing your sport, over this fussing over thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of this, that, and the other. And we're trying to scrape by to buy our milk and bread out here in the hinterlands. Get it together, guys. We want to see some baseball. All right. Well, spring has sprung where we are. If I have to clear my throat on occasions, it's because of all the pollen. And now, the snow we have in Georgia. The snow we have in Georgia is not the white snow, it's the yellow stuff that comes from the trees. Our trees are budding, our flowers are blooming, and it's producing all of that stuff, and it can be tough. But that's a minor problem. But spring is coming rapidly. I was perusing my lawn today. It's been a nice shade of just dead grass, for a long time, since we entered into late fall and winter. And now I'm beginning to see some green growing in the yard. So that means, Mama, get the lawnmower ready. We'll be out there soon. So, okay. Anyway, what? Yeah, I know. I had a good supper. Collard greens. I had some collard greens and some cornbread and had a good supper. All right. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the world of University of Georgia football. Of course, it's kind of like a downtime at the moment, other than the fact that did the Bulldogs show out at the NFL Combine or not? I mean, seriously, did they? I think we had 14 guys from the University of Georgia football team invited to participate in the NFL Combine that happened over the past weekend. And boy, did they ever show out. We'll be talking a little bit about that. Our guys who are going to the NFL. And of course, the combine, you have to be invited. And so what the NFL teams do, they get together, they decide on who's the top picks, and then they issue an invitation to these guys. And so they measure how big they are, and how strong they are and how fast they can run and that kind of thing. And it's on television. Yeah, the NFL Network showed the whole shooting match, and I didn't watch much of it, to be honest with you. I didn't. I watched some, mostly the highlights. But it's kind of interesting now. If you're a college football junkie and are pro football, really you're in there big time. The NFL Combine was your kind of thing. I watched some of the highlights. Um, Georgia had 14 players invited to participate in the NFL Combine, more than any other college. You had to be invited. You couldn't just show up. You know, and boy, did the Georgia players ever show out. In fact, one of the guys at the NFL Network said, "Well, Georgia won the national championship, and they also won the NFL Combine." Because the Bulldogs really showed out. So we've got some things here in our stack of stuff. How you guys doing on Instagram? Good to have you with us here. We're originating from beautiful South Georgia. It was a balmy what was it? 84 degrees today in South Georgia. Now apparently Friday night it's going to be 27 degrees, and the high for Saturday is going to be like what is it? 54. So we're all going to be sick around here, and everything that's blooming and budding will be frozen to death when we get this cool snap. But there's an old wives' tale, and it's pretty accurate, to be honest with you, in South Georgia, that you always have a cold snap before Easter, and it pretty is consistent. You get this warm weather, you think, spring is here, summertime is not that far behind, and then the bottom will fall out. Winter will say, "Hey, I'm not done yet," and it'll come visit for a day or two. So that's what we're looking at for this weekend. So there you go. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about University of Georgia football. It's kind of a downtime right now. The NFL Combine was there. The spring drills be open up on March 15th for Georgia. We'll talk a little bit about that, and then the next big deal will be the G-Day game. That'll be the spring game. And that'll be a lot of fun. The stadium will be full. Last year it was like partial capacity for the G-Day game, and I was there, and it was cool. It was cool, but boy, will Sanford Stadium be filled to the capacity this year for G-Day? You better believe it. It will be a celebration, and it will be loud and noisy, just like you like it. All right, so let's get our weekly Arch Manning update. You want to? The perpetual question that is being asked these days is, where will Arch Manning play college football? Well, watch the latest. Okay. Steve Wiltfong of 247 Sports says there are 6 teams still in the mix for Manning. Now, how he knows this, we don't know. But anyway, that's what he says. And according to this report, Arch Manning reportedly has high interest in 3 schools. He kicked Clemson out, which that's understandable. Who wouldn't want to kick Clemson out? Anyway, he kicked Clemson off his list. But this report says that there are 3 schools that Arch Manning has a high interest in. Okay. Alabama, Georgia, and Texas. Arch is expected to make a decision over the summer, according to this report, after making some more school visits. The rising senior at Isidore Newman High School in New Orleans has thrown for 6,307 yards, 81 touchdowns, and rushed for 19 so far in his high school career. Now, the scuttlebutt is that if among the 3, Alabama, Georgia, and Texas, if there's a leader, kind of like a leader, it might be Texas. But you never know. We shall see. The speculation is that Arch Manning will be on campus in Athens at the University of Georgia sometime this summer. So there you go. There's a lot of discussion about who's going to win the Heisman Trophy in 2022. Of course, Bryce Young, the winner from last season, will be back at Alabama. He is the favorite to repeat as the Heisman Trophy winner. But this is the time of the year when you kind of just you talk about stuff to try to fill in the gap between now and the time you kick off in September. So there's a discussion about who's going to win the Heisman Trophy in 2022. And according to the guys at ESPN, the top 3 on that list, the top 3 favorites to win the Heisman Trophy in 2022, interestingly enough, are all quarterbacks. Bryce Young from Alabama, CJ Stroud from Ohio State, and Caleb Williams, who is now at Southern California, USC. They are the presumptive favorites to win the Heisman Trophy in 2022. But there was a roundtable discussion recently among ESPN's college football experts. Now, I was not invited to participate. A little hurt, feelings a little hurt, but that's all right. In this roundtable discussion of college football experts, Adam Rittenberg said, "Wait a minute, guys. I have somebody I want to add to the list. You know, you got Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Caleb Williams. Well, Adam Rittenberg says, hey, I want to add Stetson Bennett to that list of players to watch who might win the 2022 Heisman Trophy. Now, before you go to scoffing maybe about that, here's what Rittenberg said. He said this might shock some folks, but what about Georgia's Stetson Bennett? He's the returning starter for the defending national champions. He ranked fourth nationally in pass efficiency last season. He was third in total quarterback rating. He will be leading an extremely talented offense under the same coordinator, Todd Monken. He said, I realize why Bennett is so easily written off, but should he be? Shouldn't Stetson Bennett's name be added to the list of those who might have good consideration to win the Heisman Trophy in 2022? Well, yours truly says, why not? I mean, seriously, Stetson Bennett played great quarterback last season, and he faced a lot of odds going against him in a lot of ways, and guided Georgia to win the national championship. So why not Stetson Bennett? Why not? That'd be a great story, wouldn't it? Here's the dogs that the Georgia players who worked out at Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium for the NFL Combine. Don't you know they enjoyed that? Going back to the same venue where they won the national championship. Don't you know they enjoyed that business? And what about the Alabama wide receivers? You know, and they're whining and complaining. Well, if I hadn't got hurt, we would have won that game. You know, both of them, Mitchie and the other guy, they both said, you know, the only reason Georgia won is because we got hurt. If we hadn't got hurt, then we would have won that game. Yeah, sour grapes, you know. But anyway, well, yeah, some cold shoulders going on there up at Lucas Oil Stadium between the Georgia players and the Alabama wide receivers. So here's from Georgia who participated: Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt, N'Kobe Dean, Quay Walker, Lewis Seen, Darian Kendrick, George Pickens, Channing Tindall, Jake Carmada, running back James Cook, Jamari Saylor, Justin Schaefer, and Zamir White. And I got to tell you, you know, you look at, first of all, the dimensions of these guys, you know, the defensive guys, the linemen, and I mean, these are sculptured human beings, and these are, you know, very, very well put together human beings who can play some good football and fast. Georgia really showed out. You know, the University of Georgia, the players who participated in the NFL Combine really showed out, really showed the reason why Georgia won the national championship. Cool. Now, we'll focus in on a couple. You got it. I mean, my word, Jordan Davis, what he did at the NFL Combine is unbelievable. Now, Jordan Davis, yeah, he's 6'6", officially 6'6" and 3/8, and he weighs 341 pounds. He is a huge human being. But what he did at the NFL Combine, not only turned heads of all the scouts who were there from the NFL teams, but got the attention of Hollywood and everybody else. I mean, it was amazing. So it even The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, pretty good actor, pretty good. Yeah, turned the former college football player turned pro wrestler and acting. Even he gave a shout out to Jordan Davis. He said, I can't repeat what he said. This is a family program. But he said, wow, this is really, really fast. So let's put, here's the numbers in perspective for Jordan Davis. For starters, Jordan Davis measured in at 6'6, 3/8, 341 pounds. He is taller than tight end Rob Gronkowski and heavier than 18-year offensive tackle Jason Peters. Davis ran a 4.78 second 40-yard dash. 4.78 second 40-yard dash, just a little over, 10 yards a second. That is faster. Listen to this. That is faster than quarterback Patrick Mahomes ran in the NFL Combine. Jordan Davis ran faster than, Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes is about the size of one of, Jordan Davis's left leg. I mean, it's amazing. In the 10-yard split drill, Davis finished with a time of 1.68 seconds. That is quicker than NFL wide receiver Jarvis Landry. Davis also recorded a 32-inch vertical leap. That is more explosive than running back Jamal Charles when he went through the combine in 2008. And to make things even more impressive, Jordan Davis leaped 10 feet, 3 inches in the broad jump. That is 3 inches longer than tight end Jimmy Graham of the NFL. And listen to this. I mean, seriously, listen to this. Jordan ran a 4.78 40-yard dash. Jerry Rice ran a 4.71 40-yard dash. In other words, Jerry Rice would have outrun Jordan Davis in the 40-yard dash by an eyelash. I mean, what Jordan Davis did at the NFL Combine was just unbelievable. And I loved seeing, the replays of it. And then they put all the Georgia players together and side by side. And I showed Devontae Wyatt and Jordan Davis and, one of the other players running side by side down the 40-yard dash. It just amazing, just amazing. Now, all of the Georgia players did great. All of them were very impressive. And it's estimated that every Georgia player improved their stock in the eyes of the NFL teams. Jordan Davis has got to be in fact, there's the projection now by Mel Kiper of ESPN that Georgia will have 3 number 1 picks in the upcoming NFL draft. Just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Now, Jake Carmada, our punter, was there. The Bulldogs punter, Jake Carmada, had a great career at the University of Georgia. Could have come back for, another season, decided to go into the NFL. Even Jake Camarda killed it on the 40-yard dash. He ran a 4.61. No, he ran an official 40-yard dash of 4.56. I mean, that's getting it. He's a punter. And Jake Camarda was the fastest among the punters. Penn State's Jordan Stout was second fastest at that position with a time of 4.65. Now, I guess you want your punter to be able to run. Well, you got to punt the ball and then go downfield and, try to make the tackle. But Georgia just showed out. The University of Georgia, the players for the University of Georgia just showed out at the NFL Combine, continuing a great offseason for Georgia. All right, let's talk a little bit about spring football. By the way, there's what is it? Yeah, okay, yeah, the USFL will kick off after the G-Day game at the University of Georgia, sometime in April, the USFL. So we'll have some spring football. And the USFL does have a partnership with the NFL. They're not in competition with one another. The NFL's kind of making an investment with the USFL. And the USFL will have what, 8 teams in it? All their games will be from Birmingham, Alabama, which is kind of interesting, but that'll be fun. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. So here, Georgia now. Here's our spring practice. The spring practice for Georgia. Spring practice will begin. When is that? On March the 15th. And here's what they do in spring practice. They practice on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Okay. And they'll start on March the 15th. And the 17th, 19th, and then they go to the next Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then the G-Day game will be on April the 16th at Sanford Stadium. And so the guys are all, yeah, did you see Kirby Smart and his address to the Georgia General Assembly? Now, that was cool. Kirby, and boy, he was all snazzed up in his best suit. And he was there at for the Georgia General Assembly, and Georgia was being honored by the assembly, and he made a kind of a cool speech there for the Georgia General Assembly, and he was talking about the guys are already doing workouts, and he said this morning at 6:00 they were out there at Sanford Stadium, down and dirty. Well, maybe not in the stadium, but they were out doing some early morning drills, 6:00 in the morning. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do if you want to maintain excellence. That's what you got to do. Recruiting never ends. And so we kind of took a look at the 2023 recruiting rankings. 2022 has ended. Georgia probably, now, somebody asked me about the portal. Isn't Georgia going to get somebody for the, Nakobe Dean? Alan wants to know the numbers on Nakobe Dean. I don't have those in front of me, but he did great. He did a great, very impressive. He's projected maybe as one of the number 1 picks. All of our players did great. So in 2022, somebody was asking me about the portal. Now, Georgia will pick up players out of the portal after spring drills. That's probably what's going to happen. Nobody yet, but it's probably going to happen after the spring drills. And Georgia will pick up some players in the portal. Now, Georgia ended the 2022 recruiting rankings with the number 3 class behind Texas A&M and behind Alabama. And for the longest, as you project out to 2023, Georgia had the number 1 recruiting class projected for 2023. Let's see. But right now, that's not the case. Oh, Nakobe didn't work out, did he? No, he didn't. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. So here's the rankings now for the 2023 class. Recruiting never ends. Never ends. Right now, Notre Dame has the number 1 class for 2023. Texas Tech is now number 2. Arkansas is number 3. I tell you what, some stuff is happening in Fayetteville. Georgia now is number 4, has the number 4 ranked recruiting class for 2023. And that was because Georgia had 2 guys who decommitted from that class, opened up their, commitment again. So that doesn't mean they won't come to Georgia. They just, say, okay, I want to look at some things again. So Georgia right now in 2023 is ranked number 4. Now, the reason why, these are extremely early rankings and things are going to change mightily. You don't see Alabama on this list. They're not in the top 10 for the 2023 class. They will be there You know they will be there. And so you got Notre Dame, Texas Tech, Arkansas, Georgia, Penn State, Baylor, Ohio State, Iowa, Florida State, and Michigan State. Florida State's doing a good job recruiting for 2023 as well. So we'll keep an eye on what's happening with that recruiting class 2023. Um, we were looking at Coach Kirby Smart. Just he's in his sixth season. He just finished his sixth season as the head coach at the University of Georgia. Here's Kirby Smart's record. I mean, this is stellar. Kirby Smart has a 66-15 record. That's a 815 winning percentage. Along with the college football playoff national championship, Kirby Smart has wins in the Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl, 4 SEC East titles, 1 SEC championship wins, 5 wins over top 4 opponents, and 15 wins over top 10 opponents. The dude can coach. And he is relentless as a recruiter. He's relentless as a coach. And if you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, you might every now and then question, why did Kirby do this? Why is he doing that? Why doesn't that happen? What's wrong with him doing this, that, and the other? But the man can coach. And Georgia is so fortunate. You've seen what happens when a college will mess up in hiring a coach. I mean, Auburn's in a mess with Harsin over there, and they've been in a mess for the last several coaches. And Tennessee's debacle with several head coaches. They're looking pretty good under Heupel now. When you get down, it's hard to get back up in college football if you get really way down. Georgia is so fortunate to have Kirby Smart. And every now and then I'll say, well, Coach Smart, why are you doing that? Or why did that happen? Or why don't you do this? And so, but we're grateful for Coach Smart. He makes good decisions when it comes to hiring staff. He's a relentless recruiter. He's getting better at game management. I think he's getting better as a coach on the field during the games. I just, we're very grateful for Kirby Smart and what he does for the University of Georgia. Speaking of recruiting never ending, this is kind of cool. Matthew Stafford guided the Rams to the Super Bowl win. And you might say, well, Matthew Stafford now is an NFL player. His team just won. The Rams just won the Super Bowl. But you can take the dog out of Athens, but you can't take Athens out of the dog. You might be interested to know that Super Bowl champion, former UGA great Matthew Stafford is in the recruiting process for a 2024 quarterback named Dylan Raiola. And here's what Stafford has done. This Dylan Raiola, he's in the 2024 class for recruiting, which means what? He's sophomore, I guess. And he's in the 2024 class for recruiting. Well, he struck up a friendship somehow with Matthew Stafford. And so Matthew Stafford's putting on the pressure to get this guy to come to the University of Georgia. He was in Arizona, right? He was in Arizona. Now he's in Texas. This Dylan Raiola. He's got offers from every major college, Alabama, USC, all of them. And here's what Matthew Stafford has done. He's offered up his old number 7 in red and black to Raiola if he chooses to go to the University of Georgia. Now, my assumption is that he has struck a deal maybe with Coach Smart. Hey, if this guy comes to the University of Georgia, give him number 7, my old number at the University of Georgia. So you got Matthew Stafford out there on the recruiting trail trying to influence Dylan Raiola to come to the University of Georgia. So there you go. Way to go, Matthew. We appreciate it. Just quickly, you don't know these names. You may know some of them, but there are a lot of recruits coming in. There was a dead period in recruiting until March the 1st or something like that. So a lot of recruits are coming to Athens now. to they're shown they're given the red carpet treatment. They're shown around the college and that kind of thing. And boy, there I got a list of them here. A lot of them on March the 1st. Um, in recent days, Sammy Brown, Caleb Downs, King Joseph Edwards, Big Recruit, Bo Hewley, Joseph Stone they were in Athens. Coming up this weekend, AJ Harris, a cornerback, Nico Amaliva. He's a quarterback from California. He'll be on campus this coming weekend. Wide receiver Tyler Williams will also be on campus. March the 18th, weekend of March the 18th, you've got all kind of guys going to be on campus on March the 18th, and then March 21st, and the weekend of March 25th. So recruiting never ends. Recruiting never ends. And so just, rest assured that Coach Smart and the guys are out there doing everything because you see, to be elite, you have to be, to play elite, you have to be elite in everything you do. And Coach Smart applies that to himself when it comes to recruiting, and he is relentless. And to win national championships, you got to have the players. Now, that is not a profound statement. That's just the truth. You got to have the players. You got to reload if you want to be there every year. Alabama's proved that. Georgia has proved that. Elite colleges have proved that. And so a lot of guys will be on campus, have been and will be in the days to come. The other day, at our house, my dear bride, she puts up with a lot, but we have movie night. Now, you might have movie night where you are, at your home. You might have movie night, Now, we're parents and grandparents, but we still have movie night. And so we'll, like a Friday night or a Saturday night, we'll sit down and say, okay, well, let's watch a movie. Let's get our popcorn and let's watch a movie. We don't go out much to the movie theater anymore. Why? Just stay home but and a lot of times, I'm a good husband. I can measure how a good husband I am by the fact that my dear bride will say, well, let's watch this Hallmark movie. This Hallmark movie, and I'll say, sure, honey, let's watch this Hallmark movie. And so we'll watch it. Say, I'm a good husband. But every now and then I'll tell my wife, I say, okay, honey, I know you like this stuff and I like it kind of, sort of, maybe not as much as you, but okay, I'm there. I'm a good husband. But I'll tell her, I got to have a man movie tonight. I mean, I got to have a man movie. We got to have, a little more meat on the bone here from the movies we're going to watch. And so every now and then we'll watch, and we watched one the other night, American Underdog. It's a football movie. I love football movies. American Underdog. It's the story of Kurt Warner, who, he played in northern Iowa, wasn't drafted, worked at a grocery store, tried out for NFL teams. He was with the Packers for a day and they cut him. Went to work at a grocery store as a stock boy. Eventually had the opportunity to work out for the St. Louis Rams. Made the team. Trent Green was the starting quarterback for that season for the St. Louis Rams. He got hurt. They turned to Kurt Warner, rookie. Of course, he's, older than your usual rookie. Anyway, American Underdog is the story of Kurt Warner. He went on to be a two-time NFL MVP, Super Bowl champion, Hall of Fame quarterback. It's a good movie. It is. I enjoyed it greatly. Zachary Levi played the part of Kurt Warner. Anna Paquin was played the part of his wife. Dennis Quaid. I love Dennis Quaid. He was in the movie. So if you want a good football movie, American Underdog is a good one. So I have my list of my favorite football movies. And so here we go. Now, there are a lot of football movies and your list will be different, but here's my list of my favorite football movies. One of them was a TV movie back in 1971, Brian's Song. And it's the story of a relationship between teammates Brian Piccolo and Gale Sayers when they played for the Chicago Bears. Piccolo later died of cancer, and he was diagnosed with cancer. James Caan, Billy D. Williams from Star Wars fame was in the movie. That's one of my favorites. Remember the Titans. Oh yeah, boy, I'm telling you, hey, you talk that's a good movie. Denzel Washington, you know the movie. Denzel, Will Patton, great actor. True story of an appointed African American coach and his high school team on their first season as a racially integrated team. Boy, it's a good movie. Remember the Titans. The Blind Side. Now, I like The Blind Side. Okay. Michael Orr, of course, first round NFL pick. Sandra Bullock, Quentin Aaron, Tim McGraw in that movie. I like the Blind Side. Rudy. Rudy. I mean, on any list of football movies, you got to have Rudy, right? And you know the story, the kid that always wanted to play for Notre Dame, and he walked on and was on the practice squad, and finally he was able to suit out for one game against Georgia Tech. And Sean Astin was the star of that. The Express. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, you need to see this movie, The Express. It's the drama based on the life of college football hero Ernie Davis, the first African American to win the Heisman Trophy. Now, that's a great movie. It's called The Express. Then We Are Marshall. About the plane crash claimed the lives of members of Marshall University football team back some years ago, and then the school started another football program. Matthew McConaughey, a great job in that movie. So check that one out. We Are Marshall. In fact, I'm going to watch that one again. It's been a while since I watched that one. Another one on my list of great football movies is Facing the Giants. Now, you might not have heard of this one, but it was actually made in and around Albany, Georgia. We're close to Albany, Georgia. And it's a 2006 movie. Check it out. Alex Kendrick, Shannon Fields. And then another movie we saw recently, and great movie, a movie called Greater. And it's the story of a football player by the name of Brandon Burlsworth and how he walked on, true story, at the University of Arkansas. And he was this kid in high school. He was pretty good in high school, and nobody offered him any kind of, chance to play football at college. I think he got one offer, but he wanted to play at the University of Arkansas. He walked on at the University of Arkansas. Against all odds, he became a starter, became an all SEC player, was drafted in the NFL in 1999 by the Indianapolis Colts. Unfortunately, 11 days after being drafted by the Colts, he lost his life in a car accident. It's an amazing story. Check it out. All right. So it's been the Dawg Report and a movie review tonight here on UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Y'all be blessed. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world that we really need to pray about. I know Bulldog Nation is a praying nation. So we need to pray about all this stuff going on, that we'll have peace in the world. Indeed. All right. God bless you all. Have a good night tonight. See you again soon here on Dawg Talk on UGA Football News on Facebook